Hello all my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. And welcome to Friday Fun Day and Christmas in July. All rolled up into one video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make this fun mug rug. It measures about 4 inches by 5.5, so it is a rectangle with these fun little fringy ends. And I think they're super cute. And it is a really nice size to hold just about any size mug. And I've got my little vintage Christmas mug here. I've had this mug forever. I don't even remember where I got it. Knowing me, probably the Dollar Tree. Anyway, this is super easy to make. It's just basically single crochets and then we top stitch the buckle on. I really love it that it looks like Santa's suit. But I think for the demo, I'm going to make one that looks like an elf. And you probably saw that in those beginning videos. Because I think it would be fun to make like 3 of Santa and 3 of an elf. Wouldn't that be fun? And you know, we got to have fun. It's Christmas in July. So anyway, this is what we're going to do today. It's real easy, real fun, and a great way to use up some leftover cotton yarns. Now you can find the complete pattern with pictures as always, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. So I did make this out of cotton. You can make it out of acrylic if you want to, because it will still protect your surface. But if you're going to be putting drinks that may sweat on it, like iced tea or soda, where we put ice in it and it sweats on the outside, you'll want that cotton for absorbency to protect your wood surfaces. Okay? Now, you're going to need some cotton, medium weight, number 4. All right? And so I had these already on hand. We used them for another project. And these are just medium weight, number 4 cotton yarns, red, white, and gold. And I used brown here. You can use black or brown. I just like the brown up next to the red. Thought it looked really pretty. You just need a small amount of the brown and the gold, and maybe an ounce of the other 2 colors. Now, for today's demonstration, I'm going to use this bright green, and this is Crafter's Secret. I could not find this brand with a nice bright green. I had some sagey greens and some darker greens, and I thought at one time that they did have a bright green, but I couldn't find it, so I went ahead and picked up the Crafter's Secret. It's also a medium weight number 4 cotton yarn, so it'll work just fine. And we're going to do the red portion in green, we're going to do the brown here in the red, and then I'm going to come back out here, I think, and do the gold or red. I haven't decided. You probably already know because it's on the beginning of the video. But anyway, and then we'll come in and make our gold buckle. And then it's going to look super cute. All right? But again, just because we're doing a Santa or an elf doesn't mean you can't do them in different colors. You could do pink and green and yellow, or, you know, whatever colors that you want, or whatever colors you have in your yarn stash. Now we're going to be crocheting today with our H-hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook. You need a pair of scissors and a needle. And then you're going to need a nice Christmassy mug. So I've got my green. If you're making the Santa one, of course, we're going to be starting with the red. But I'm making the elf. So we're going to make our slip knot. And we're going to chain 19 chains. All right, so whether you're making it an elf or a Santa, they're stitched exactly the same. The only difference is, of course, the colors that we're using. And we're starting with 19 chains. All right, so what we're going to do is we've chained our 19 chains. And remember to always chain that beginning chain just a little bit loose. We're going to go in the second chain and stitch a single crochet. And then we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those chains, working all the way across our row. And this particular project is stitched all in single crochets. We're not doing any other stitch. All right, so 1 single crochet in each of our chains across, and again we began in the second chain from the hook. So again we began in the second chain from the hook, and we stitched a single crochet in each of our chains across. So we have 18 single crochets. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to go right in that first stitch. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, okay? So we'll go right in that first stitch and just stitch 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way across our row. One single crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way across. So we started in our first single crochet and we stitched 1 single crochet across. So again, we have 18 single crochets. Then we chained 1 and turn. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to repeat row 2 for 4 more rows. So we have 6 rows of 1 single crochet in each, chain 1 and turn in our color 1. And again, if you're making the Santa, these first 6 rows will be in red. If you're making the elf, they'll be in green, or whatever color you choose to make yours in. I am really loving this bright green for my elf one though. Alright, so we're going to repeat row 2 for 4 more rows. And that will give us 6 rows of solid single crochets in our color 1. I have completed those 4 additional rows, so we have 6 rows in our color 1. I did not chain 1 because we're going to bring in our color we're going to use for our belts. And I'm going to use red on my elf. Okay, so we're going to bring in our color 2. We're going to leave our color 1 attached because we're just going to do 2 rows for the belt. Snug everything down. We're going to turn our work, and we're just going to repeat for 2 rows what we've been doing. 1 single crochet in each of our single crochets all the way across. Then we'll chain 1 and turn and repeat. Let me show you on the Santa suit one. We did 6 rows of red, and now we're doing 2 rows of this brown. You could also use black if you wanted to, or another color. On the elf one, we did 6 rows of green, and we're doing 2 rows of red because we want the elf belt to be red. All right, so I'm just going to single crochet across, chain 1 and turn, and single crochet back across, so I have 2 rows in red, or our color 2 for our belt. So I have completed those 2 rows of red that are going to be the elf's belt, and we're going to cut off our red. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring back in our green, or our color 1, and chain 1. Something to remember when you're changing colors, always do the chain 1 or 2 or 3 after the color change. That way you don't have that little bump of red where we want the green. Okay, whatever stitch that you're doing. Alright, so now what we're going to do is just stitch 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets across, just like we've been doing. I told you, super simple, super easy, but super fun to make. Alright, so I'm just going to continue across with my color 2 that we brought in. We chained 1 and 1 single crochet in each of our stitches across. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to repeat row 9, 1 single crochet in our color 2 for 5 more rows. That way we'll have 6 rows of color 1, 2 rows of color 2, and 6 rows of color 1 again. All right, so we're going to repeat this row for 5 more rows, so we have 6 rows in our color 1 again. So I have completed those 5 additional rows. So I have 6 rows of single crochet in color 1, 2 in color 2, and 6 in color 1, because this is the belt for my elf, just like we did on this one, the belt for Santa. All right, now we're going to cut our green yarn, and I decided to go ahead and do the trim in the red. All right, so I'm just going to bring my red in. And so what we're going to do now, we'll go ahead and chain 1. Where's that green one? There we go. Snug that down. We're going to single crochet across, and then in the corner we're going to stitch a single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. That way when we go to put our little fringe on, we can put that fringe right in that chain 1 in each of our corners. All right, so this row is exactly the same. We're just going to place a single crochet in each of those single crochets, working all the way across. All right, so we're just going to go all the way across, stitching 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets till we reach that first corner. Almost there. Couple more stitches. All right, so I put my single crochet in. I'm going to chain 1. We're going to turn, and we're going to evenly single crochet down this side. So we want to go right in that same stitch, and that's going to give us a spot to put that little fringe on the 4 corners. And now we're just going to evenly single crochet down the side of our mug rug. All right, and then when we get down here, we'll do the same thing. We'll put a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So I evenly stitched down the side. I've stitched that single crochet. I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet in that same stitch. And then of course across the bottom, this is where we started our beginning chain. So we can stitch right in those chain stitches across. All right, and then we'll just work up the other side just like we did this side. So again, we stitched across, we placed a chain 1 in the corner and then stitched down, placed a chain 1 in this corner, stitched across, chain 1 in this corner, and then back up here. So we single crocheted. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to join to that first single crochet and cut my yarn. All right, now we're going to pull that loop to the back. There we go. That got a little splitty on me. All right. And then we'll just weave that to the back. I grabbed a couple of straight pins to help me center it in the middle, because we don't want the buckle to be over to the side, although it would kind of be cute. And then I threaded on the gold yarn, probably more than I need, onto my needle. And we're going to start over here. And we're going to come up here. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one. We'll leave a little on the back, probably way more than we need. And we're going to do what's called the lazy daisy stitch. All right, so you're going to make a loop like that. You're going to go back in and come up in that loop. And that's the lazy daisy stitch. So you'll go in and come back up. Make sure the yarn is around your needle. And you don't want to pull these too tight, but you also don't want them drooping, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull that needle out. All right, so now we've gone across and we need to go down. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to come back up, and that's going to hold that stitch there, because now we're going to go the other direction because we're going to make the side. Okay. The Lazy Daisy stitch is a very well-known embroidery stitch. When I used to do a lot of crewel work and embroidery and cross stitch, I did the Lazy Daisy stitch quite a bit. And of course, you can make your buckle bigger, you can make it smaller. It's kind of up to you how big you want to make your buckle. All right, and because we went down, we want to make sure we don't lose that stitch. So we'll go around and do like that. And now we're going to come back the other way. You can also do slip stitches across if you want it to have a little bit of a 3D effect. But just remember, if you're going to set a cup on this and you've got the stitch too tall, it could make the cup fall over. And nobody wants a cup of hot cocoa in their lap. Or all over their table for that matter. All right. All righty. So I've gone across. We're going to go down and make that stitch so we don't lose that stitch. And now we need to just come back up this way to meet up where we started. There we go. I had a little yarn knot there I needed to attend to. You never know when you're going to come across a knot. That was more like a fuzzball than it was a knot, though. Either way, we worked it out. All right, so now we're back where we started. We want to go in the end there. And then we're just going to kind of go make sure when you go back in, you go through a stitch and not a hole. So we want that to be, you know, held. All right, so there's my buckle. It is sitting a little bit lower, but I'm okay with that. I think it's very cute. Okay, and then we need to make that little thing that goes across. So we're going to kind of go up underneath there and just make a straight stitch. 1 and 2 just to hold it. Now it looks like our buckle. All right, so I'm going to turn it over. And we're going to weave these ends in and make sure you do not tie knots on the back because you don't want any bumps that's going to cause your cup to fall over. All right, so we got the buckle done, and now I'm going to take a few minutes and weave in all these ends. Now to make the little fringe edges, I decided on this one to go ahead and use 1 strand of red, 1 strand of green, and 1 strand of the gold. And I really like how it turned out. Super cute. And of course you can do it however that you want. You could do it with the white like we did on this one. Super cute. It's up to you what you want to do. All right, so the way you do that is you're just going to cut, I cut like 10 or 12 inch strands, and you're using 3 of each one. If you're doing it all the same color, you need 3 strands on each corner. All right, so then you're going to go behind, go in that chain 1 space, fold that in half, pull that through with your hook. And I like to pull the loop a little bit big. It makes it easier to get it through. And just loop that through there. Give it a tug. And sometimes you got to pull each of the strings just to make sure they're on there nice and secure. All right. And then we're just going to trim it. And the length of your pom-pom or tassel, whatever you want to call it, is totally up to you. Just pull that nice and secure. Make sure that it's going to hold. The only other tip I would give you is if you want to put a piece of this sticky back felt on the back in order to like hide your stitches here where we weaved everything in. You could do that. I'm not going to this time, but this is great stuff. It's sticky back. Cut it to fit and just stick it on there, and it works great. All right, so here's the elf one, and here is the Santa one. So now I have a Santa mug rug and an elf mug rug. Perfect for my cocoa, coffee, or whatever else I want to put on it. I love how they turned out. They're super cute. The hardest part really is just the buckle. This one I made a little bit smaller than this one. It's up to you how you want to do your buckle, but it works really good using these lazy daisy stitches because you can just move it around and make a nice rectangle or square. All right, so that's our Santa suit or elf suit Christmas mug rug.